Hello, my loves. Ruby here. Welcome back to my channel. I am feeling so good because I just returned from a trip to New Mexico and I feel so connected to the energy of New Mexico. It feels like a healing portal for me. Whenever I go, I get so many downloads. I always feel so connected to the energy of Mother Mary and Our Lady. Just the energy of Our Lady in New Mexico is so potent. You can really feel it. And I spent some time at the Ojo Caliente Hot Springs Resort outside of Taos, which are my favorite hot springs of all time. And I love a hot spring. That is one of my favorite parts of living in Colorado, is that I have so much access to hot springs. But those particular hot springs at Ojo Caliente, I don't know if it's just the minerals in the water, but it feels so healing and so rejuvenating, mind, body, spirit. So I spent some time there, and I also spent some time in Santa Fe, which I love. And actually, one of my favorite metaphysical stores in the whole world happens to be in Santa Fe. So I did a big old purchase there, and I thought, why not show you the haul, because I got so many good things. So this is going to be my haul from the Ark, which, as I said, one of my favorite metaphysical stores. It is in downtown Santa Fe. It is such a unique, lovely experience. The store is huge. And you'll kind of get a sense of what they have there as I move throughout my haul. So I haven't really taken a look at this since I made the purchase. So it's going to be fun to kind of remember and revisit what I bought. And while this is a big haul, I was very selective in what I picked up because I could have really bought the whole store. All right, so without further ado, let's dive in. There's books in here, there's decks in here, there's jewelry in here. So I thought a little something for everyone, right? So first book I purchased is Spirit Weavers. It is Wisdom Teachings from the Feminine Path of Magic by Saren Bertrand. Now, Saren Bertrand's other books, Womb Awakening and The Magdalene Mysteries, are some of my favorite metaphysical spiritual books of all time. And so, it's kind of interesting that I haven't picked this book up yet. It's been out for a couple of years, but I saw it in the store. I was like, I would much rather pick it up here than, buy it on Amazon. And I've been feeling kind of called to actually read this one lately, as well as I was kind of moving through a re-listen on Audible of Womb Awakening. I felt that it was time to pick this one up. So I will read the back of it to you. It said, "The womb is our seat of primal power and intuition, or wild knowing. Spirit weavers are those who have heard this wild voice from within and have followed that call, embarking on a grail quest to follow the feminine path of magic, awaken to the depths of their soul, and embody their true feminine essence. Inviting you onto the spiral path of the Spirit Weaver, Saren Bertrand shares wisdom teachings and rituals from the feminine path of magic and her own ancestral lineage of old European witches and fairy folk, spirit keepers, and story weavers. She explores flower of life teachings, the moon mysteries, and dragon wisdom. She unveils the shamanic power of grief and deeply examines the feminine archetypes of the witch and the priestess." How have I not read this yet? Oh my God. Drawing on powerful feminine spiritual icons from around the world, such as Kali, Isis, Teresa of Avila, and Mary Magdalene, all energies I work with, so I have no idea why I haven't picked this book up yet. She explains how to awaken your spiritual womb and find strength within, and how to reclaim your soft power of heart-opening vulnerability. She explores the lost traditions of the goddess lineage and reveals sacred spaces in the world where her memory lives on. She shares the womb mysteries of alchemical union, revealing how to awaken the wild feminine and wild masculine and become sacred lovers who balance their light and shadow. So I'm very excited to finally read this one. And who knows, if you want, we can do a review of this on the YouTube if there is a desire for that, all right? So next, I'm so excited for this. I got this bag for a tarot or oracle deck. Very much this like drawing down the moon, priestess, witch vibe. I just loved this. And I really like bringing my tarot decks like on the road with me, or just kind of like to coffee shops, things like that, in these little silk bags. It's like my favorite method of transportation and storage. So we have her. There was so many good tarot bags there. Like, again, y'all, I really had to be selective. Okay, so this looks like it's going to be jewelry. So let's open this up. I got some good jewelry there. Their selection of jewelry was excellent. Okay, so here we have some crystal bracelets. I recently brought my crystal bracelets back out. It just felt like energetically I was needing a little more support. And so I've been looking for a celestite or angelite crystal bracelet for a while. So I found one. We have celestite, and then this is ocean jasper. And what was this? Oh, labradorite. It's just a lighter labradorite. So we got some new crystal bracelets that we are going to charm and enchant and add to the crystal jewelry stack. And then I got these rings, which I will take out and show you. So I've been needing a good protection ring for a while. So we got this black tourmaline necklace ring. Y'all, Mercury is in retrograde right on my natal Mercury. And then we got this crystal ring as well. So again, going to enchant them and kind of add them to my talismanic jewelry protection arsenal. Okay, and then this oracle deck, which is called the Dark Earth Oracle. This is an indie deck, so I was very drawn to purchase it because, you know, it's not something you could just buy on Amazon. And I was kind of feeling just so drawn to it. So I don't know anything about this deck other than I do vaguely recall maybe it was funded on Kickstarter. Like, I could be wrong about that, but especially moving into the energy of spring, as we're in this like Ostara, spring, astrological new year, you know, Easter, resurrection, you know, Persephone back from the underworld energy, just felt very aligned, like in the colors and just what I was intuitively feeling from this deck. And I love a good indie oracle, and I feel like they're a little harder to come by. So I'm very excited to check this deck out. And hopefully I was right on the money and it resonates for, you know, new beginning spring energy. And then the other deck I purchased, I had never heard of this deck before. Now this is published by, it's not indie, it feels like it's published by a mass publisher. Bear & Co. is the name of the publisher. And it is Magdalene Manifestation Cards. And I will read the back to you. In this full-color deck and guidebook set, Danielle Rama Hoffman presents hands-on tools and highly effective manifestation practices channeled from the Magdalene Midwives, a higher dimensional collective intelligence devoted to assisting ascension efforts on Earth. Each of the 44 cards features a Magdalene code to empower you, open your ability to receive, and awaken your natural tendencies towards prosperity and multidimensional abundance. In the companion guidebook, the author explains each Magdalene code, how to co-create with them, and how they provide innovative energies of abundance that deeply nourish your love, body, and soul. I also channel and work with a collective of priestesses that are, they call themselves the Magdalenes. They've never called themselves the Magdalene Midwives to me, but they call themselves the Magdalenes. And I was very intrigued to see this out in the wild, I mean to say. So I'm excited for this one. I feel like this is one I'm either gonna love or hate because I feel so connected to, you know, Magdalene energies. So we will see, but I am excited to open her and to dive in. And I'm sure we will be talking about her in a later video, right? Next, we have some more jewelry. You guys, this jewelry is really, really good. We have these dragon earrings. I've been really connecting in with dragon medicine lately. Dragon's blood has come in as a very strong ally. So I've been wearing dragon's blood oil and burning a lot of dragon's blood incense. And dragons have been coming in my meditations. They've been coming in when I am performing the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram. Dragons are very connected into feminine Christ consciousness for me. And so those dragon earrings feel really, really good. I'm going to New Orleans for my birthday this year. I used to live in New Orleans for 8 years, and I'm getting a tattoo from the same artist that did this tattoo, which if you know what this is about. And I was really thinking of getting a dragon tattoo, but I think I'm gonna go in another direction this time around. But a dragon tattoo is imminent. Okay, these second pair of earrings, are you ready? These are abalone shell. Right. Here, I'll show you them one at a time. They're so good. So we will be enchanting these and adding them to the enchanted jewelry collection. Okay, and then I just got some incense that I am using for some particular workings. This is not too exciting. We have Love Spell and Copal. And then I just picked up this dragon's blood because I was using it to clear the rooms that we were staying in. I always bring stuff to clear hotel rooms, Airbnbs when I travel. I normally go a little bougier with incense, as you know if you've seen some of my incense unboxings. But for offerings to deity, I have a deity that loves Copal, and this Love Spell incense is for Venus and an energy that I work with that I call the Pink Magdalene. And then, final item in the haul is this book, Anna, the Voice of the Magdalene, a sequel to Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. Now, a little bit of a story time, but first, just some appreciation for this beautiful bag that this came in. I love a good reusable grocery bag, reusable tote. So, I am rereading Anna, Grandmother of Jesus right now. And it's a reread, but I never got through it the first time around because there was some things in that book that I felt very skeptical or suspicious of, right? Now, if you are unfamiliar, Anna, Grandmother of Jesus is a channeled book that came out in the early 2000s, around the time the Magdalene manuscript came out, which is another channeled Magdalene text, channeled by Tom Kenyon. And it's very indicative of this trend in spirituality around channeling that feels very Dolores Cannon. And there's just some things in that book that really raise my discernment flags. And, because I talk about Christ consciousness and Mary Magdalene and Christianity from a divine feminine, more priestess, pagan perspective, people are always asking me, have you read Anna, Grandmother of Jesus? You should read Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. You would love Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. And I'm always like, I don't really want to reveal that I don't know how I feel about that book. So I started reading it again, and my plan this time is to read it all the way through. And when it comes to that book, I am so torn because there are some things in that book that I feel are right on the money. And there's some things in that book that I feel are really new age tropes that ring my discernment bells. But I feel like I'm being called to read it, and I do feel like there's wisdom in that book. And it almost feels like I'm being called to read that book so I can read this book, okay? I don't know if when it comes to the first version of this, if it's just so fantastical, some of the assumptions that are kind of made in the first book, that I just can't suspend my disbelief enough, or if it's a red flag just because it's not truth, right? But when it comes to truth, here's the thing. Something cannot be true literally and be a portal to gnosis and a portal to inner revelation. And so I'm reading Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. That's a mouthful. I'm reading Anna, Grandmother of Jesus now from the perspective of this is a portal, this is a vehicle for inner revelation and gnosis. And I was reading that book in New Mexico, which is so connected to the energy of Our Lady and so connected to the energy of Mother Mary. And I was having these really powerful activations around, you know, what it means to be a Magdalene priestess, what it means to be connected to the spiritual lineage. And it felt like a homecoming. So I'm enjoying reading Anna, Grandmother of Jesus. I want to finish it as quickly as I can so I can read these other two books. And it feels like, I have these times where Mary Magdalene comes in and she kind of sweeps me up for a spiritual ride, and I have these really deep activations and it kind of plunges me into the next level of my priestess path. And I feel that happening now, and it's something that is bringing me a lot of joy to kind of be in this portal after what was a really difficult winter for me. And so, you know, all of these items feel very indicative of this like Magdalene priestess, dragon medicine portal that has opened kind of in the midst of all of this eclipse energy. And so I'm excited for how that unfolds. And if you're curious about more of my like personal spiritual path, I do talk about that quite a lot on my Patreon. I have a series that's basically just me opening up about what's going on my personal priestess path. And so I talk more about that there. So you can always join the Patreon if you're kind of curious to see where some of these like activations go, because I will definitely be talking about it there. So that's all for today. I am going to sign off and then clear and enchant some of these items, and I'm feeling so blessed and grateful. Like whenever I go to the Ark, it's like really, really supportive and nurturing usually to what's happening in my spiritual path, like with kind of the items that I end up purchasing and kind of finding there. So really fun stuff. And as always, I am sending you so much love and wishing you well.